Hello, this is my second video related to citizenship studies. So today we're going to discuss the responsibilities of a Canadian citizen. So let's get started. The responsibilities of a Canadian citizen. As Canadians, we have several responsibilities. Some of these are mandatory, meaning they must be done, and some of them are suggested or expected, but not mandatory under the law. So let's begin with number one. You should be informed about Canada's government system and take part in the democratic process. This means you should take the time to learn and understand the ways in which Canada's leaders and representatives are chosen, and take part in that process by voting in elections. In Canada, we have 3 levels of government and therefore 3 different elections that you are able to vote in. Municipal for city elections, provincial for provincial elections, and federal for Canadian elections, or the top level when we are choosing our prime minister. Number 2, you should understand and follow Canada's laws. Study Canada's law and ensure that you follow those laws. So we don't mean that you should study a legal book, but just make sure that you're familiar with the most common laws that we follow in Canada. Some of them might be different than those in your home country, but it's your responsibility to follow the laws of Canada. Take responsibility for yourself and your family. This means that you should work or go to school to better yourself and get a job when possible. You need to be a contributing member of society and provide for the children that you bring into the world, if at all possible. So providing for your children means shelter, as in a home, food, and clothing. Now, we understand that when people first come to Canada, their language might not be at a level that allows them to work. So that is a case where going to school would help you to better yourself and allow you to get a job in the future. Also, you have to realize that you probably won't be able to jump from the job field you were in before directly into that job field in Canada. Often you'll need to start at a lower level job and perhaps with experience, work your way towards what you would like to do. Help others in the community. It's your responsibility to volunteer in the community if you have time and to help others in need. You also need to help to protect others by reporting any abuse that you suspect or witness. So there are many volunteer opportunities in Canada. Some of those might include helping at a soup kitchen, volunteering at your child's school, volunteering with your religious organization, a child's sports team, and the list goes on. Also in Canada, we consider it very important to protect all of our citizens by reporting any abuse that we might see or even suspect. So in some countries, it is considered a family issue if there is abuse taking place. However, here, none of that is tolerated, and the police are going to deal with all of those situations. So if you see it or you believe it's happening, you need to call the police. Protect and enjoy Canada's heritage and environment. So that means that we need to remember the things we were taught and have learned about our culture and history. A big part of that is learning about and understanding Canada's Indigenous peoples, as well as other parts of our history and how Canada was formed. We also need to try and preserve the environment by reducing waste and pollution. So in Canada, we enjoy clean air, clean water, and it's our responsibility to preserve that by not polluting our lakes, recycling anything that is recyclable, not throwing garbage outside, and working together to keep this a great place to live. Next, participate in jury duty when required. So of course, the jury is 12 members of society, Canadian citizens, who sit in a court trial, listening to all of the evidence, and at the end, will decide together if that person is guilty or innocent. If you receive a jury summons, you must attend the meeting date given. If you are chosen as a juror, you must serve in this role. This is mandatory. You may be excused if you have a very valid reason. So jury duty is one of the responsibilities that is mandatory. You cannot say, no, thank you, I'm not interested. If you have a very valid reason, for example, you are caring for an elderly family member who cannot be left alone, you have a brand new baby, or some reason that, that keeps you from being away, they will certainly consider that and probably excuse you from jury duty. And we must strive or try to eliminate discrimination and injustice. We can do that by trying to learn about the various groups that live in Canada. We should not judge people based on their race, religion, sexuality, culture, or for any other reason. We should work towards helping to educate others in the community about the harm that discrimination does within a society. And we should not tolerate discrimination or injustice when we see it or hear it. So if somebody is saying something very rude or hurtful, even in a joking manner, against a particular group, we should be telling them, please stop, that's not appropriate. So we are trying to be role models. We want to try and stop this discrimination in our country. Okay, so let's do a very quick review of the responsibilities of a Canadian citizen. Number one, you should learn about Canada's government and the democratic process. You are strongly encouraged to vote in elections, though it is not mandatory. You need to understand and follow Canada's laws. So just as in any other country, you must follow the laws of the land. You need to take responsibility for yourself and your family. So you need to do your best to get a job, to provide for your family, to have a decent home for your family, and make sure everybody is clothed and fed. You should try to help others in the community. So it's not mandatory to volunteer, though it is a good thing to use some of your time, again, to help at your child's school, volunteer with one of their sports teams, help at a homeless shelter, an animal shelter, or any of a variety of places that require volunteers to run. It is also a responsibility of Canadian citizens to report abuse that you know or even think may be happening. You need to protect and enjoy Canada's heritage and environment. You must participate in jury duty when required. You cannot say no. This is mandatory, though they will listen to your story. If you have valid reasons, those will be discussed, and you may be excused if they feel that those are valid reasons. And we should all be working towards eliminating discrimination and injustice. All right. I hope that was useful in giving you some information about the responsibilities of Canadian citizens. Thank you for watching.